Nigeria's finance chief just got flown out of the country, but the truth behind his illness is still murky. That's the startling lead into a developing crisis in Abuja. Wale Edun, Nigeria's Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, has reportedly been flown to the United Kingdom for medical treatment, sparking concern, speculation, and serious questions about what this means for Nigeria's economic direction. Below is a full deep dive into everything we know so far, what the stakes are, and what to watch next. What's reported? The journey abroad and conflicting claims. The flight and destination. Multiple credible sources say Edun traveled from Abuja to Lagos on Monday night via a commercial flight and then took a British Airways flight to London the same evening. While the trip was confirmed by media outlets such as The Punch and Legit, there is still no official medical disclosure as to the condition he's being treated for. What the presidency and government aides say. Initially, the presidency claimed Edun was recuperating at his residence in Abuja under local doctors, and that reports of him being flown abroad were premature or exaggerated. Bayo Onangu, the president's special advisor on information and strategy, acknowledged that Edun is indisposed and sick, but dismissed rumors that he's had a stroke or is incapacitated. Government sources insist there are no plans to replace him at the moment, though they haven't ruled out appointing someone to cover duties temporarily, if needed. Mixed claims and uncertainties. Some sources claim the illness is serious, but deny it is a stroke. Others emphasize that speculation is dangerous without facts. The lack of transparency has fueled public suspicion and media rumors. Until now, no formal medical statement, diagnosis, or prognosis has been released by Edun or the Ministry of Finance. Why this matters? More than just health. Disruption of fiscal leadership. Edun has been central to President Tinubu's economic reforms, from subsidy removal to exchange rate unification, budget implementation, and fiscal policy. His absence, even temporary, could slow or complicate momentum on key initiatives, weaken confidence among investors, or open space for policy drift. Representation and diplomacy. Because of his sickness, Edun will miss major global economic gatherings. Already, the central bank governor, Oluyemi Cardozo, is set to lead Nigeria's delegation to the World Bank IMF annual meetings in Washington in his stead. Key financial diplomacy, debt negotiations, donor agreements, and multilateral talks may be affected by his absence. Political risk and power dynamics. Questions will emerge. Who steps in temporarily? How does that shift influence inside the administration? If his illness is prolonged, pressure may mount for a cabinet reshuffle or replacement, especially in the sensitive portfolio of finance. The opacity around the illness invites mistrust. In a democratic society, handling such a high office's health crisis poorly can erode public confidence in governance. Economic confidence and markets reaction. In Nigeria's fragile macroeconomic climate, leadership uncertainty in finance can spook markets, raise risk premiums, affect foreign capital flows, currency stability, and bond yields. If investors believe policy continuity is at risk, yields might rise, currency may weaken, or capital could withdraw. Timeline and background. Edun was appointed as Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy by President Tinubu on August 21, 2023. He has long been part of Tinubu's inner economic circle, having served as Lagos State's Commissioner of Finance from 1999 to 2004, and later as a prominent banker. Reports suggest his sickness began quietly in Abuja, and initially he underwent treatment locally. Only later was the decision made to travel abroad. Rumors of stroke circulated in media and social platforms, but these were denied by those close to the presidency. While in office, he has been actively engaged in budget processes, fiscal oversight, and reform coordination, under heavy pressure of Nigeria's economic fragility. The risks and challenges ahead: health opacity and public trust. The failure to clearly disclose his medical condition and prognosis drives speculation and undermines trust. A responsible government would provide transparent updates to maintain confidence. Succession planning and temporary coverage. who holds the reins if Edun is incapacitated long-term? The lack of a clear backup plan could invite power struggles, inefficiency, or confusion in critical economic decisions. Policy continuity under strain. Some reforms, especially politically sensitive ones like taxation, subsidy, foreign exchange policy, may stall or be watered down in his absence. That risk grows with the length of his unavailability. Market jitters and negative signaling. Foreign investors and domestic markets dislike uncertainty. Without clear signals of stability, negative movements in the naira, treasury yields, or bond markets may occur. Political blowback. Opposition and critics will likely frame this as a failure of governance, unhealthy secrecy, and mismanagement. The administration could face intense scrutiny over why such a key minister had no contingency disclosure. What to watch closely? 1. Official medical update. A formal statement on diagnosis, treatment plan, and expected recovery timeline. 2. Temporary appointments. Who is assigned interim control over finance, budget, and macro policy? 3. Policy signals. Whether fiscal discipline, budget timelines, and reform momentum are maintained. 4. Markets response. Moves in bonds, debt auctions, yield curves, and foreign exchange markets following the announcement. 5. Cabinet changes or reshuffle. If the illness lingers, Edun may be replaced permanently. 6. Foreign relations/multilateral negotiations. Any delays or changes in Nigeria's commitments abroad, including IMF, World Bank, and trade talks. Reflection. A moment of vulnerability for Nigeria's economy. Wale Edun's illness and overseas medical trip is more than a human story. It underscores how fragile leadership continuity is in critical government offices and how a single event can ripple into economic, political, and diplomatic spheres. If handled well, with transparency, capable backup, and strong succession planning, Nigeria could weather this storm with minimal fallout. If mishandled, however, the consequences could deepen economic uncertainty, erode investor confidence, and fuel political criticism. As Nigerians, we must hope for the minister's full recovery, but also demand clarity, accountability, and stability in governance. Because in sensitive portfolios like finance, the health of office holders has real-world implications for every citizen's pocket, aspiration, and national trajectory.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this update and want to stay informed with fast, reliable news, don't forget to subscribe to Newsflash 360. Hit the notification bell so you never miss a story. Your next headline is just seconds away.